not.
Heather Lee, thank you for being a part of our Women in Sport Spotlight series.
Look, it's a pleasure to be here anyway, and thank you for asking me.
You started race walking at 84 years old. Why did you get into it?
Well, my husband died in '96, and of course previously to that I've done all the sort of race fun runs and things like that. And but before he died, his last words to me were, "Now is the time to show your mettle." And even now that makes my hair stand on end, you know, because I think that was a very sort of almost poignant thing to say. After my husband died, I had a compulsion to walk, and that's really what took me to a local walking group. And not only that, but to sort of meet people socially and sort of, you know, make some new friends. I was pretty good, you know. One was always up the front. We was graduated into the first city to surf in 2001, but there were 5 of us, and we kept together, and that's a no-no if you really want to sort of do a good time. So the following year I thought, no, I'm going to do this on my own, because I was so taken, and the adrenaline rush, you know, and just the enthusiasm of everybody and the whole, you know, atmosphere. So the following year I did it, and I think with the group, we took 2 hours and 40 odd minutes. On my own, I did 2 hours and 3 minutes. And I think I got it down to about an hour and 55 minutes, because I did it for a number of years. But then, I mean, there were other things as well, like the City to Surf, and the Bridge Run, the Mother's Day Classic, the Sutherland to Surf, the Fisher's Day Goes, then the 12K Challenge Walk at Mount Anna, and I was winning in all those. And that's really when I said to my physiotherapist, look, I'm running out of people to compete against, which I was, because I was into my 80s by this time. And he was the one that suggested that I went to the Masters Games in Adelaide. He said they're in October this year. That was 2011. And from then on, I've never looked back. And I've thoroughly enjoyed my time. The last 12 years have been, you know, marvellous. So I've got a lot to thank my husband for, I think. I went to my first Masters Games in Adelaide and came home with 4 world records in race walking. And never having race walked in my life before, I realised that I'd really broken world records, and I'd also was very close to world records. So once I got to 85, which was only 5 weeks' time, in 2012, I thought, right, I'm going to go ahead, because I knew it was well within my capabilities to break world records and Australian records. In my 85 to 90 age group, I had 2 world records in the 3 and the 5 kilometre. And the 1500 metre, I was the fastest in the 1500 feet, but it's classified as world best. And I also got 4 records in the Australian games. So I had 4 Australian records, 2 world records. But in my 90 to 95 group, I've got 3 of the records. That's the 3, 5 and 10. And I was fastest in the 1500 metre. And I've got the 4 Australian records as well. And I have been ranked #1 in the world for quite a few years now. So, yes, so that's a good feeling. And that's something I find hard to believe. I've got to read it to believe it, if you know what I mean. Yes.
What do you love about it?
I love the exercise. I think it's really good for me, and I think that's what's kept me going. It's kept me fit all these years. It's given me a good quality of life, and I think that's the most important thing. And something else that's very important to me is my independence.
Do you have a desire to inspire others?
People come up to me and say that they are inspired by me. So I mean, and I think that perhaps because I'm 96 and doing what I'm doing, that people think that maybe there is I think that maybe growing older may be not so bad after all if you do keep fit. So I'm a kind of a role model, I think, in a way. So I hope I am anyway.
And what's next on the horizon? Are there any more records to break or any more history to make?
Well, I'm sort of making history at the moment because I'm the only one in my age group, especially in Australia, I think, who's doing this. So I don't think there are any other. There's 1 or 2 Americans still in my age group, but they're not doing the distances that I'm doing or the times that I'm doing. So now I'm looking at the longer distances with the 3 kilometre and the 5 kilometre, and maybe, I say maybe, even the 10 kilometre, but we'll see. So that's my next goal.
Heather Lee, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's been a great fun. Yes, thank you.